Right, so good morning, students and staff. I am so glad to see you all here in Bishopstown today. My name is Isabel and I'm your Student Union President for this year. I'd also like to extend my welcome to the students and staff who are in attendance in our satellite campuses in NMCI, CSM and CCAD on livestream. I am so proud of you all for sticking up for your rights and for joining us today in this fight to make education affordable and accessible for everyone. I am also delighted to see the President of MTU, Maggie Cusack, in attendance with us today. It is great to see that the President of our university is acknowledging the massive hardships that our students are facing today. First of all, I would like to let everyone know that the goal of this student walkout is not just to raise awareness about the severe struggles that our students are facing and the detrimental effects that the cost of living and accommodation crises are having on our students right now. It is to let struggling students know that they are not alone in this fight, and I, on behalf of MTU Cork Students' Union, want to let you all know that we are all here for you and we are ready to fight for your rights and to ensure that your voice is heard on a national level. I would like to ask you all a few questions. Are you tired of having to commute to college every day because you can't find affordable accommodation? If you have accommodation, are you tired of paying extremely high rents for substandard conditions? Are you tired of not being able to find a parking space day in and day out? If you don't have a car, are you sick of the bus driving past you every day because it's full? Are you struggling because you have to pay the highest fees in the EU? Yes, you heard me right. Students in Ireland are forced to pay one of the highest fees in the EU just to have an education. I am sure that we are all aware that the latest budget announcement provided us with a once-off payment of a 1,000 reduction in our fees. Yes, you heard me right, it was a once-off payment. While we were somewhat pleased with this announcement, unfortunately, we will be back to square one with the price of fees by next year. Because of this, we, the Students' Union, alongside many other colleges in the country and alongside USI, demand that the government completely abolish the student contribution charge. Students are the future, and they should not be unable to get a third-level education just because the price is too high. Also, we urge the government to increase the minimum wage so that it meets the living wage. Students are forced to work every available hour they have, and as a result, they are exhausted, and their attendance and academic grades are severely suffering because of it. In the end, they have nothing to show for their countless hours of work, as they have to spend all of their money on rent, fuel, or day-to-day living costs. It is extremely important that the government also works closely with our university to build affordable, purpose-built student accommodation that is close to our campuses. Again, I would like to reiterate the word affordable. There's loads around Cork, but none of us can pay for them. Also, I think that we can all agree that the bus and cycle routes to our university are completely inadequate, and we demand that the government work on improving this infrastructure immediately. Students cannot come to college if they have nowhere to live or if they have no way of getting there. We can no longer afford to stay quiet. Níniarska Curla Kayla, there is no strength without unity. Thanks, guys.
My name is Maeve Richard and I'm the Deputy President of the Union of Students of Ireland, which is your national union, which you are all members of as members of MTU Cork Students' Union. We are more than just a students' number, more than just the fees we provide, more than what we just provide to the economy. Ireland continues to call itself the land of students and scholars. You wouldn't know it from the way we treat our education system. This is the land of 1,000 welcomes, and students end up homeless, deferring or commuting for hours on end. And yet we find ourselves scratching our heads wondering why all our friends are immigrating and leaving this country. We have students in Cork and their only option is luxury student accommodation. that's costing €9,000 for the academic year. How is any student working part-time supposed to cough up €9,000 for their college education, on top of €3,000, the highest fees in the EU? We continue to celebrate how amazing our education system is and how we celebrate Nobel Prize winners such as Joyce, Heaney and Yeats. And in the same breath, this year was the third budget produced by the Irish government that didn't include specific funding for student accommodation. There's a reason there's no houses. It's because the government doesn't care enough to fund it. We need to fund the future. I don't know why we aren't, but we're here together to show that we are angry. The Taoiseach lives less than 20 minutes from this campus, and yet he continues to ignore the problem of third-level funding. Micheál Martin was the Minister for Education in 1993. He saw how bad the crisis was then, he knows how bad the crisis is now, and yet he still hasn't stepped in to fund our colleges. Ireland abolished fees for secondary schools over 50 years ago, and yet we're still here paying the highest fees in the EU. Students have been at the forefront of social change in Ireland, marriage equality, repealing the eighth, and now we're asking Ireland to wake up and give education the respect it deserves. Where students lead, let Ireland follow, and we want Ireland to follow us in taking third-level education seriously. Whether you're a doctor, an engineer, or a business student, you shouldn't feel like you have to leave in order to have a decent wage, a decent cost of living, and a decent home. This country has become absolutely unlivable for our students, and frankly, we can't see it anymore. How many of you are going to be forced to leave Cork after your degrees in order to get a good paying job either in Dublin or abroad? It's not good enough. And I'm glad to hear that the MTU Cork University President is here today, Maggie Cusack, because we need staff on site with us. Visiting lecturers, PhD students, they are completely unable to find accommodation. They've seen students missing classes because they can't stay in class because they have to go to work to pay their rent, pay for their car, or probably because you're driving around for 40 minutes trying to get a parking space and playing you're not going to get clamped, which is in every campus across the country. It's absolutely disgraceful. We're stronger together and we can continue to how angry we are. This is only the beginning of showing student anger, and we want to see all of you out again when we have a national demonstration outside the Dáil to show our anger. Dates of that will be released very soon. So thank you to everyone at MTU Cork for listening and coming out. We are extremely proud.
Just one last thing from me, guys. There's no point in us leaving it at this speeches. We need to actually make our voices heard. So you might see dotted around the room, there's QR codes. If you scan them, or if you go on to our Instagram, I just posted the QR code as well, scan it and it brings you to a survey, and I want you to tell us why you walked out today. Is it because you can't find accommodation? Is it because the public transport is ridiculously bad? Is it because you are paying so much money on fuel? Let us know and we will be sending that on to our government. And also, if you want, we have a few chants here. If you want to do it, I know 96 FM are in attendance here as well, so it might be good to get a bit of videos of how angry we actually are. So I'm going to say, a grand for a gaff, and you're going to say, are you having a laugh? So, a grand for a gaff, a grand for a gaff, a grand for a gaff. Okay, and then the next one is, I'm going to say, we're walking out before we drop out. So, we're walking out. We're walking out. We're walking out. Okay, and the last one, I'm going to say, when students' rights are under attack, you say, stand up, fight back. So when students' rights are under attack, stand up, fight back. When students' rights are under attack, stand up, fight back. When workers' rights are under attack, Students United will never be defeated, guys. Make sure you scan the QR code and tell us what you're worried about or what you're facing at the moment. And also, I'd just like to say, please, if you want to go home, but please go back to class or else go to the careers fair. There's 120 employers there. It's unbelievable, so definitely go there. Thanks, guys.